pull out a blunt, because you don't always have to shoot small game with your stone tip arrows. But if you shoot them with a blunt, you got to make a good shot. You got to hit them in the vitals and put them down. If you make a bad shot, then you stand a chance they'll pack your arrow off or you lose the rabbit. So it's kind of a 50-50 mix. If you're going to shoot a blunt, you better shoot good, get a good close shot. So there's a rabbit over here hiding in the shade, and I don't want to use, I only got 3 left of the stone pointed arrows, so that's why I'm going to use one of the practice arrows and show that you don't have to have a stone pointed arrow to kill small game. You on? Oh, wow. He's done. Oh, shit. Just watch where he goes in. Watch where he goes in. He'll get on. Just don't push.
Where's he at? Oh, he's dead. He's dead right there. Oh, there's your arrow right there.
Yeah. So you don't need, like I said, you don't have to have, but if you shoot them like that, and they're up close, the palmettos or any thick brush, they're going to run right into it. That's a good reason. At that point, that's when you take a stone pointed one and you shoot it, because a lot of times you'll pin them right down with it. Or you just got one rabbit, there's another one. Actually, it's beautiful. This place is loaded with cottontails right now. You go up top now,
try and shoot him in the head.
Shoot the one that's more on the end. Oh, there's a bunch. Alright, I'm gonna shoot that right there.
Oh my
Like that one.
God. Okay.
I'm gonna shoot.
There's one right in there in between it. Oh.
Right over his head. How did that not get him?
I don't know. There's another one over here and another one back behind it still.
How did that not kill him? It's dumb rabbit. Okay.
He's
I'm just gonna shoulder him. That one. People keep asking for a small game hunt, so rabbits just want to be out. So we're walking this whole big pond edge. It's pretty big, and we're just hunting this grassy stuff, and we're just finding rabbits as we go. And I'm using the same blunted arrow over and over and over. And as long as you make good shots, it puts them down really fast. Let's walk on and see if we can find some more. I'm gonna come up around. You just film right from here.
There's 2 of them.
Oh, he moved. It's freaking me out. He flinched at the last second and then he jerked.
Should be right there. Right. Shoot him. I'm on him.
That's as close as you can get without getting him. That was what, between his ears? Not that one.
Better get him before he gets in there with your arrow.
He's in there already, so. You can't get away with the arrow. little afternoon of small game hunting with these rabbits. The Stone Age bow, sinew string, and we shot them all with the same arrow with a blunt. No stone points. You don't need stone points when you're rabbit hunting. So no sense wasting a stone point if you've just got a blunt-ended practice arrow. It incapacitates them pretty fast. So got 4 good rabbits for the stew pot. We're gonna be eating really good. Dropped one. Alright, so we got our rabbits here from our rabbit hunt. This is all the meat off one rabbit, and I'm sure it actually doesn't look like much on the camera. Maybe we'll put it in scale with my hands so you can see it. 1 cottontail rabbit. And this is all boned off. It's actually quite a bit of meat, a lot more meat on a cottontail than people usually think about. So I'm going to go ahead and set that here, and then I'm going to work through one of these. Now, if you want to see the process of me skinning these, because that's one of my biggest dreads, I would say, in processing small game, is having to skin and clean and stuff like that, small game. I have a video on skinning a rabbit in about 6 seconds, and it's probably more like 7 seconds, but it's hard to say. But the video got age restricted, so I don't want to show you that process because it's shocking to some people, but I'll drop a link down in the description if you want to see that. Super fast to clean a rabbit, and then when it comes to actually gutting them, then what we're going to do is you're just going to split the belly, you reach in, grab the guts, and you pull it out, and it's another like 6 seconds. It's nothing, but I was trying to not get age restricted in the first video, but I did anyway, so here we are. So now we're down to a carcass. Hopefully I don't get age restricted again. This is food. This is teaching people how to provide this food for themselves. Obviously you can hear my kid in the background. He's running around. Hey buddy, what's going on? Then I'm going to go in and take a nice sharp knife, and we're just kind of rough boning off around. So that would be like the sirloin, say on a piece of beef or a deer or something. That's essentially, we get a rabbit sirloin here, but it doesn't make as beautiful of a steak since it's so small. But we'll take that off and come around the back side. Now, all this stuff right here is really full of sinew. That's going to be really, really hard to work with. If you want to cook that down for an extended period of time, that's fine. But when you get rid of all the sinew and you count the meat, there's not very much meat in there at all. I've already been down that road quite a bit. It looks like there's a bunch of meat, but it's not. It's mostly sinew. And so I usually don't mess with the calf area on them. But it doesn't take very long at all to just rough bone the meat off. So there's one leg. Now without walking it through. And I do deer the same exact way. So I remove these same cuts the same exact way on a deer or a pig or anything. Obviously this is just a smaller scale. So, and I'm just going down till I hit the bone and rake right along it, just like that. And pop that piece off. Easy peasy. So this way you can go shoot rabbits and you can skin them. You could literally have these things, all of them skinned and gutted in like 5 minutes. Not a big deal at all. We'll cut those flanks off and set those aside. We'll get rid of them. And then you got your same, you got back straps. Rabbit back straps are actually pretty thick. They're pretty hardy pieces of meat. And I'm going to run them right back into the hind quarter and pick up any of that extra meat that we missed boning that off, and even up into behind the shoulders. Like that. And then of course there's no bones in any of this. Rabbit sinew is not something I'm worried about. It's not nearly as tough as say deer sinew. So we don't have to clean all the silver skin or sinew off of a rabbit, especially if you're going to go ahead and throw it in a stew or whatever. You'd never even notice it. And work around some of these bones. Hold on 1 second. Right there. Perfect. Get a little extra piece. It's just an extra bite. No biggie. Pop that off. Look at that. That's a nice, it's a pretty nice little backstrap, quite honestly, for a cottontail. I'll do the same thing on this side. Doesn't take any time at all to clean these things up. There. Most time you can just reach in with your fingers and actually break them loose. Depends if you're trying to remove a nice pretty piece of meat, or if you just want to yank it off. So it's not too bad at all. A lot of your rabbit stuff you can grab and just pull just like that. Rabbit skin, rabbit flesh. That's why when in that video, that's one's kind of a little bit of a janky piece, but in that rabbit skinning video that I did, here's your inner tenderloins. A good piece of meat. Don't forget about that. You can actually just scoop these out with your thumb, just like that. It's not hard at all. I'll get the other side. In the rabbit skinning video, I just rip the skin across, and people say, "Man, you just wasted the whole skin. You know, you should be able to use that." Well, you got to remember, I do this stuff all the dang time. If the rabbit skin was good for stuff, I would use it. Rabbit skin, cottontail skin. We're not talking domestic rabbits that have that breed kind of has some thicker skin, but you're talking wild cottontails. Their skin is so thin. It's like tissue paper, and when you try to tan it and use it for anything, it just falls apart. Cottontail skin is just not worth saving at all, I promise you.
Watch this, guys. Watch this.
Hey man, what are you doing? I'm trying to shoot a video for everybody to show them how to take care of rabbits. Hey, do you want some rabbit stew?
What?
You want rabbit stew?
No.
Why not?
But
You love rabbit stew.
This toy right here is broken, but it's not back on somehow, but won't snap back on.
It won't snap back on, it's broken. Well, I'll tell you what, if you give me a minute to finish cleaning these rabbits, I'll help you fix your toy. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay, can you want to go sit down for a couple minutes and I'll finish this? Alright, so that rabbit is completely cleaned off. Like I said, there's not much here. We yanked the front shoulders, just there's a little bit right in here, and then the top of the shoulder blade. It's the same thing as a deer, it's just a little bit on a smaller scale, so there's not much there. Now, of course, primitive peoples, they could boil that whole thing down, make a broth, but we've got a pretty good stack of meat right here. Let's get rid of those little trimming pieces we don't need. So again, so now 2 rabbits. This is actually quite a bit of meat. And I don't mind cutting those little teeny tiny pieces off. In fact, if you want to save the heart and the liver, if you don't tell your wife and your kids, you can pull the heart and liver off, throw it right in there, and then cook it up, and they won't even mind. They won't even notice it's in there. So anyway, that's how we're going to do it. So that's just 2 rabbits right there, and that's actually quite a bit of meat. And I got 3 more to go. One we killed with the atlatl, and killed 4 with the bow and arrow this weekend, so gonna have us actually probably way more than we actually need for the stew, so might actually get 2 stews out of it. So that's how you're gonna bone rabbits off, fry them, stew them, whatever you want to do.